Alright, from this corner of the bottom of the Cosmo parking garage, so I think it's closer than parking at Miracle Mile to get to the Planet Hollywood poker room. Tell you about, okay, before this video, something's making noise, something's leaking over there. This video is about the paycheck, the last paycheck I got. First, I want to tell you about the Patreon page. 3 times lately, I was kind of late putting something up on Patreon. The Monday free post. It's free for paid members, it's free for free members, it's free for non-members. You can just navigate to the Patreon page and see the Monday free post. On July 7th, that was a Monday, a post was supposed to go up. I didn't get it up until July 8th, Tuesday. So I still got the one a week that I'm going for. It went up about a day late. The following week, it did go up on the correct day. It went up on July 14th. I usually have them go up at 3:30 a.m. Vegas time. The videos on YouTube get published at 3 o'clock Vegas time, 3 a.m. That was supposed to go up at 3:30, and I think it went up more like 6:30, but it did go up on that day. I got a post up that week, and then this week, for me at the time of filming, on August, I think August 11th was the Monday, it was supposed to have a free post, and that didn't go up till August 12th. So I was kind of late 3 times, late in terms of the day twice, but one of my goals this year is to make a free post once a week, so I've still been keeping that up even if it's like 3 to 24 hours late. Now, next scene, even though I'll be standing right here, to the paycheck details. Yeah, this does not look good. There's like water leaking out of the wall, and it looks like the wall is just turning into mold, so I'm not gonna get that close, but all right. There's also no air down here, so all right. Anyway, the big things from this paycheck, 2-3 things I want to mention. One is hours, because this paycheck that I'm telling you about, you know, the pay period's 2 weeks. So the first week of this pay period I'm telling you about, not the pay period I'm in, which hasn't ended yet, and of course I haven't seen the pay stub details. The most recent pay stub I've seen included the week right after the World Series ended. And the lighting is kind of weird. And we had that 48-hour stretch in the room with literally 0 games going. So I had 2 shifts that week where I didn't go in. There were no games going. And then I had 1 shift the next week where we had a lot of dealers, not a ton of games. The room was solid. If you were a player and you went in there, things were solid. Just like, we kind of had like a typical number of dealers show up. Typical based on the schedule, which is different than typical based on who actually shows up, because we often get people who just don't tell anyone and don't show up. So there's like a difference what's normal between the amount of dealers you actually see when you walk in and the amount of dealers who are on the schedule. We had like all the dealers show up and not tons of games. So I was on the clock for a half hour, didn't deal one hand, and then left. So I had a stretch. And this is when, instead of 5 days a week, we were on the schedule 4 days a week. So I had a stretch, a 2-week stretch, where I was on the schedule for 8 shifts, really only worked 5. One of the 3, I'm not counting, I was on the clock for 30 minutes. I got $6 in wage, but dealt no hands. I still got 34 hours and 15 minutes, 34.25 hours as a decimal. Might not seem like a massive amount of hours for 2 weeks, but you know, we have the wage, we have the tournament downs, we have the tip, so the money was solid. Thought the hours were going to be more, but the money was solid, and really don't see it being worse than that. 5 shifts over a 3-week period. As it is, I've mentioned last week for me at the time of filming, which is the first week of the next pay period. I haven't seen the pay stub details yet, but there was a day with overtime, and there were 3 days where I dealt literally until the last hand. We closed the other 3 days at 2 a.m. I dealt literally the last hand of the night at my table. So last week's hours were great for being on the schedule 4 days. Something I want to tell you about. I guess second important part of this paycheck. Finally went up in tournament down pay. So here it is. Here's the list. That first week was bad. That first pay period, which involved the mixed game tournament, that was weak. Those tournaments lasted a really long time. There were a lot of downs they had to pay. But, you know, the difference between a tournament going 2 hours and 12, like, you're receiving the same amount of rake, really, but you're spreading that money out over way more downs that dealers are dealing. So after that, right after that, started in the 16s, I think it was 1654, right? And then it was 14 something, then it was 13 something, then it was 12 something. And I was like, is this number just going to keep going down and never go back up? But now this last pay period, 12.95, went back up a little bit. So I know some of the factors that go in. I mean, it's total dollars, you know, divided by downs. We get the same, every dealer gets the same amount of dollars per down, but how long they take, if people make deals at the end, if more entries could be better, like to a point. If there's like so many entries, if there's like 100 people in the tournament, well, maybe we're not actually, still good for the room, but maybe we're not going to get more dollars per downs because those tournaments might take so long. You need to pay a lot of downs over a lot of hours each day. I remember, I think the biggest I ever saw was the 7 p.m. tournament. Once have 99 entries. So typically lately it's been like in the 20s. The 7 o'clock has been going most days. The 10 o'clock has been hit or miss. Usually get some inquiries, but we don't always get enough to start. The rule is supposed to have 7 entries. Now you don't need 7 entries at the time of the first hand. It's when it's over. So you have 6 levels of late registration plus the color up break after level 6 before registration is done. So if you start the tournament with 5 people, you're probably getting 7 entries. People showing up late are more entries, and people rebuying are more entries. But also think there's a number where, like, they're definitely not starting at heads up. They probably will start at 5. There's a judgment call on the part of the floor. Probably starting at 5 and going to get those 2 entries at least, not starting at heads up. 3 or 4 people, I don't know what this car is doing over here, just like revving his engine. 3 or 4 people is on the fence. I'd say 3 probably isn't happening. 4, there would definitely be like a thought about it. Maybe 4 people signed up and a couple of people have asked and are kind of like wandering around the poker room, talking to their friends, waiting for a seat in a cash game. Probably be confident at that point, but it's a judgment call on the part of the floor. So yeah, 10 p.m. has been, I'd say, like 50-50 whether it goes or not lately. The 7 p.m. has been going a lot of the time, and I'm never in the room for the other 3 tournaments of the day. And the tip compliance, always something. I'm looking at tip compliance number. 2nd time in a row satisfied with that. You know, it's weird because I mentioned it, there's that document that to me seems unofficial, although a good backup to have to get the record straight. And since filling that out completely, the tip compliance hours have been correct in my pay stub. For a long time I wasn't filling it out completely. At first I didn't even know what it was, and then I knew what it was but didn't think it could be like official or really that helpful, and I wasn't filling it out completely, but now I fill it out after every shift. And since then things have been better with that tip compliance amount, so I'm being taxed properly, so that's good. So everything looking good on the paycheck. And yeah, 34 hours 15 minutes in last week's pay period. The only poor thing, I don't mind an occasional day that it's so slow I don't go in. Actually yesterday for me at the time of filming, I came in, it wasn't bad. I thought I would have hours. There were 3 tables going when I got in, but that's the thing, a lot of dealers showed up. Usually we don't have all the dealers actually show up for the shift. So I showed up, didn't even clock in, and I left. I don't mind an occasional day off. The thing is, I really don't know what's happening until like an hour before the shift. It's not like I get a call the day before, hey, you have tomorrow off. Like, that would be better. Like, I went to the weight room, the employee weight room, and tried to time everything perfectly and got ready, and then my car was at Harrah's and I walked to PH, and then I was told I don't need to work, so I walked back to Harrah's, which really isn't all that close, and it was hot and I was wearing my uniform, and then I went home and I did other things while I was home. I had no problem with that. I had stuff to do, and it was easier to do them at like 9 p.m. than like 3 a.m. But yeah, you don't really know you're gonna have the day off until like you show up. So anyway, paycheck details, and yeah, sorry about being a little late on some of the Patreon posts lately. Glad you enjoyed the video. If you want more free poker content and or print poker content as opposed to audio visual, feel free to go to my Patreon page, sign up as a free member, and you will see every free Monday post on my Patreon page. Here's how to do it. Any video of mine that you're watching, below the video you will see this gray box. It has some information, how many views the video has, it has when the video was published, it has some hashtags. If you scroll down a little, this is all you can see of the gray box at first glance, but on the bottom right you see the word more. You could click on more, you could drop it down so that you see everything in this gray box, the description of the video, and one of the things is the link to my Patreon page. Clickable link. You could click right there on the words Vegas Poker Nomad. It will bring you to my homepage on Patreon. You could sign up to be a free member and you will see every free Monday post if you want some more poker content or if you just want some poker content in print form.